Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Adulting with Donnie. No fucking cold start this week. No craziness. I'm not doing any of that. We're gonna go with it for a lighter episode than that last one. You know what? I feel like there may have been at a minimum there was probably 10, 10 to 20 people in the last the last week and a half. So today's Wednesday. I recorded that episode on a Sunday, I think. There have probably been 10 or 20 different times that someone has been like, oh, you have a podcast, or that I've been on another podcast. I have my T-shirt that I wear, my Adulting with Donnie T-shirt. I wore that one day, and there were like maybe 2 people asked like, oh, what's that, and whatever. So, and then I was on another podcast, and so there have been like at a bare minimum there have been like 10 to 20 people who've inquired about this show, and every one of them I've had to be like, I wouldn't start with the most recent episode. That was a rough one. I don't know what the fuck happened. I never recovered from that moment. I went on for like another 20 minutes, and I was like, I'm not recovering. I thought that I could recover, but I could not. So, no big deal. I'm through it. I'm over. I'm good now. Let me light this cigar up. So, a little bit of a different location tonight. Tonight I'm recording right outside of Rose's apartment, and I've exchanged dogs for there's like a playground like 100 feet away, so I'm safe from the playground. I was actually on the phone with I was doing counseling last week, and I was on the phone with my counselor, and she was like, "Are you at a playground right now?" I said, "Yeah, I'm at my girlfriend's place, and I'm standing on the back porch, and there's a playground like 100 feet away from here. So all the kids, it was a beautiful day out. So she's like, so all the kids are like outside." And I started laughing. I was like, "Yeah, I go and do my fucking counseling sessions from a playground. I sit on the bench and I just watch the kids." She's like, "Honestly, nothing would surprise me at this point when it comes to you. It wouldn't surprise me if that was your way to relax, was to just go to a playground and watch people on swings or something." So, but yeah, anyways, that was a rough episode. But welcome back to your normally scheduled shit show that has absolutely no schedule to it at all, as you can tell, because today is a Wednesday. Hope everyone had a nice, safe end of the summer, unofficial end of the summer, Labor Day. I think the actual end is supposed to be like, what is it? September 23rd or something is the actual end of summer. But yeah, Labor Day, so Memorial Day is still in spring. Summer doesn't start until like June 21st or something like that. But Memorial Day is the unofficial start to summer. And I'm okay with that one. In fact, I'm okay with Labor Day also being the unofficial end of summer. Like, those really are like a good way to bookend it. Like, no other season really has that. Like, there's no unofficial start of fall. Like, I guess the unofficial start of fall here in New Hampshire is like the Deerfield Fair. Like, that would be the best way to do it, right? So the unofficial start of fall is the Deerfield Fair. Once that starts, sorry, got to keep this cigar going here. Once the Deerfield Fair starts, that's the unofficial start of fall. For New Hampshire, anyway, southern New Hampshire, or maybe even just New England, because the Deerfield Fair is a pretty big deal in New England. So Deerfield Fair, unofficial start of fall. Unofficial start of winter, I would say Thanksgiving. That's the unofficial start of winter. Unofficial start of spring, whatever the first nice, like legit nice day is. Sometimes that's in March, but and I mean like a string of nice days. Sometimes you have a real anomaly here. Like, I remember in 2012, it was 2012. In March, there was like not really a heat wave because it fell a few degrees short, but it was like the third week of March. There was 3 days where it was 80 plus degrees. It was like 85 degrees for 3 days. It was March, and I went to the beach on the motorcycle. Like, I didn't actually like go out on the beach or anything. Like, I didn't go hang out or anything like that. But I rode my motorcycle to the beach because it was 85 degrees out in March, and there were people, out sunbathing and stuff. There was not hundreds of thousands, but there was at least 1,000, couple thousand people on the beach that day in March. Did you catch that yet? That it was in March. But that's an anomaly. Like, I would say the first time in March or April where it's like over 60 degrees for like a handful of days, that's the unofficial start of spring. And then Memorial Day, unofficial start of summer. So, yeah, I'm okay with Labor Day being the end of summer, but I had a pretty good Memorial Day weekend. I worked on Saturday, as I do. And then Sunday, me and Ro fucking slept way in. We had talked earlier in the week. She thought about like going down to downtown Portsmouth one day earlier in the week. We were gonna go get a coffee and do some people watching. And hey, what's up, Joe? Joe from the bridge, checking in on the comments. Don't worry, man. I'm not gonna fucking fall apart this week. So we were gonna go downtown, and it was a weekday, so it didn't really make, we talked about it, and we were like, you know what, let's go down on Sunday instead. It's Labor Day weekend. There'll be people out and about. We'll go out Sunday and do some people watching. So that's what we did. And we had planned on sleeping in. And like sleeping from, like me, I like Monday through Saturday, I'm up at like 4:45, 5 o'clock when the alarm goes off. There have been a few days where I like sleep in a little bit too late accidentally. Like yesterday, I slept until like 5:20. But I get up and I go to the gym. So I wake. So sorry, lost my train of thought here for a second. So, fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, Sunday. So I sleep in anyway. I get up early Monday through Saturday. I get up at like 5:20, and Sundays I usually sleep in, and with Ro, we usually sleep in. It's the last few months, because softball's on Sunday, we don't get to sleep in as much. Sometimes softball's at like 8 a.m. and it's a 40-minute drive to the field. So, but she had no softball this past Sunday. We were like, let's sleep in. We're gonna sleep late. We're gonna sleep until like 9:30 maybe. We slept until noon. We both woke up at noon. Not on purpose. Like, don't get me wrong, it felt great to sleep that late. But like I woke up at like 6:30 in the morning, or I guess we both woke up at like 6:30 in the morning. And I had been moving around a lot while I slept. So she was kind of like, hey, do you want to get up and go feed the cats since you're awake? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I don't mind doing that. She asked me to do something, yeah, sure, no problem. So, and she does shit all the time for me. So it's very equal. So she's like, do you want to get up and go feed the cats? I said, yeah, sure, I'll go do that. So I got up and I come downstairs to feed the cats, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I guess I could probably stay awake. Maybe I'll just break open the computer and play a video game for a couple hours until she wakes up. Maybe I'll fall asleep on the couch for another half hour or something like that. But I thought, before I even commit to that, I'm going to go back upstairs, lay down in bed with her, and we'll try, I'll try to get like another, hour or so of sleep. And so I went back upstairs at 6:45 a.m., laid back down, and we woke up at noon. I could not believe that we slept that late, but it was great. I mean, neither of us, it's not like we had anything to do. So we had this plan to go downtown and people watch and get some coffee. So that's what we did. We went down and hung out. We ended up hanging out down there for about 4 hours. We got a coffee. We hung out on the market square and drank our coffees and watched people, and there were plenty of tourists around, and we even played tourists for a little bit, going into shops and checking out some stores and whatever, and she bought some stuff. And then we went to this new restaurant called Portsmouth Feed Company. It's not really, I mean, it's technically new. The restaurant that was there closed down like a year and change ago, maybe a little more. So this is the restaurant that took its place. So we went in there, and sat down, had some appetizers and some beers together, and then went and continued our shopping. Just walking around downtown, and then we finished up that. I bought a cigar, not the cigar that I'm smoking right now. I bought a cigar, and then we came back here, and she kind of did some cooking and mulled around the apartment while I sat on the porch and played Cyberpunk 2077 while I smoked my cigar, which I've been talking for a while about getting that game, so I finally did. I finally bit the bullet on it, right? And a big part of that was rewatching Ready Player One. I watched that movie, I don't know, probably a year and a half ago, maybe more, maybe 2 years ago. I kind of didn't have anything to watch. So I was like, I had heard good things about the book, and I heard like mixed reviews on the movie. So I'd heard good things on the book, and I was like, okay, I'll give the movie a chance. Like, I didn't want to read the book. I still might read the book though, because Audible is awesome. So when I say read the book, I mean just listen to it while I deliver mail. So I watched that movie recently again. I rewatched that movie recently again, and I actually liked it a lot more on the rewatch. Watching it the second time, I liked it a lot more. In fact, I watched it twice more, and then asked Ro if she's ever seen it, and I knew that because she said like, I don't think I've seen it, and I was like, we should watch it because it's right up her alley, because there's just so many like 80s references, like very, very small references throughout the entire movie to like 80s pop culture stuff that I knew she would love. So we're only about 30 minutes into it. We started watching it on, I think, Saturday or Sunday night. Today's Wednesday, so must have been Sunday night we started watching it, and but we both were fucking exhausted. Like, I don't know why, because we only slept because we had just slept for 12 fucking hours. So we were both fucking exhausted. So we were like, okay, let's hit pause right here. We'll go to bed, and we'll finish this up tomorrow, which we still haven't. We haven't gotten back to it yet, but we're going to. I think we talked about maybe finishing it tonight. But either way, watching that movie kind of prompted me to want to jump into this Cyberpunk 2077 game, which is okay so far. I've only played about, I've barely scratched the surface of starting it. I've really only played probably like, maybe an hour and a half of it so far. So I've barely started the game, and I'm still a little confused as to what the fuck is going on, because I watched like this gameplay trailer, and the gameplay trailer says that like you play this character who then gets like infected by the ghost of fucking something, by the ghost of some other guy, and he kind of, you can bounce back and forth between yourself and him, who's driving who's in the driver's seat of your character. But I haven't encountered any of that yet, so I don't really know what's going on yet. But, and I kind of fucked up. I downloaded this thing called Cyber Engine Tweaks, which is kind of some add-ons to assist you in the game, and now the game's not starting. So after this podcast is over, I might be trying to remedy that situation, which hopefully I have enough daylight to continue doing this outside. I mean, there's really no reason why I can't anyways, but I got my green screen going on behind me, and that sun is going down. It's crazy how quickly the sun starts dropping once Labor Day hits. It's like even the sun realizes that summer is over. So yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. I finally did. I know that I talked about that a bunch over the past year, maybe ever since it came out. I've talked about wanting to try it, so I'm glad that I bought it and tried it, and I'll continue to play it a little bit more anyways. I've bought some video games that were just absolute shit. Like I bought Duke Nukem like in 2012 or 13, the latest Duke Nukem came out that year, and I bought that, and it was absolute garbage. Like, first of all, it was only $20 brand new, which is not what a new game should go for. And I played like 5, maybe 10 minutes of it, and I was like, this game sucks. So, Cyberpunk 2077, not bad so far. So, anyways, moving on. I mentioned earlier about being on another podcast. I was on Creatures of the Night last week. I think it was it must have been last Wednesday night. Jason from Shit Happens When You Party Naked, he had messaged me earlier in the day and said, hey, we're going to be doing a Creatures of the Night call-in show tonight. Feel free to call in. Here's the phone number. Call in, and we're going to talk any conspiracy theory you want to, any sort of thing that you want to talk about, and any sort of, no subject is too taboo. So I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And I pulled some of my favorite conspiracy theories out. You can check those out on Creatures of the Night. Excuse me, Creatures of the Night. You can check them out there. So I grabbed some of my favorites, and I called in. And as soon as I called in, they were like, "Who's this?" I was like, "It's motherfucking Donnie Gates," and the other guys who knew of me, or at least I'm friends with at least one of them, maybe both of them on Facebook. At least one of them I'm friends with on Facebook, and immediately they were like, "Jason, give him the link, get him on the show." So Jason sent me the link. I set up the computer and the camera and everything. Took me a couple minutes, and then I jumped onto the show with them. So it was cool. I was only on for about, half an hour or so, talking about all sorts of different conspiracies. Like, I think it was Adam, I think is his name. Can't fucking remember. I'm so bad at this shit. But his wife jumped on, and her and I went back and forth about some true crime stuff, because I was talking about Maura Murray, and she was talking about John Benet Ramsey, and she talked about someone else. I guess there's some, John Benet Ramsey is a fucked up case anyways. Me and Ro talked about it afterwards, of just like how poorly the case was handled right from the start. It's really just, it's too bad. And those are the cases that really bother me, that they'll never technically be solved, unless someone were to come forward and like be legitimately able to be like, yeah, it was me. There's certain cases that are just never going to be solved, and it's really too bad. So anyways, yeah, I talked about a couple of my favorite conspiracy theories. I think we talked about Bigfoot, we talked about fucking aliens, and it was just fun. It was a good time all around, and as soon as we were done and off the air, they were like, yeah, we want to have you back on. So that was cool. I mean, I've been wanting to go on that show anyways and talk some conspiracy stuff, because it's just fun. Conspiracies are fucking fun. Even if you don't believe in any of them, even if you're a fucking, and I do believe the terrorists flew a plane into the Twin Towers, so don't get me wrong there. I think that from my angle, I think that the U.S. government had a lot more knowledge that it was going to happen. And I'm not saying that they were like, it's going to happen and we're going to let it happen. I think that they were like, yeah, right, as if that would actually happen. I think that it was totally preventable, obviously, because there hasn't been anything even remotely similar since. It was totally preventable because they had the information ahead of time. I just think that they were like, that's not, it's like someone saying that they're going to hijack the space shuttle, you look at that and you're like, okay, sure you are. Before that, plane hijackers were they hijacked planes like DB Cooper, hijack the plane, demand money, and try and fly off into the sunset. Flight attendants and pilots were all trained to just do what they say and let whatever happens happen, because these guys are just gonna they're not gonna, there's 19 of them, they're not gonna kill themselves. That's unheard of. So yeah, it's too bad. That's coming up on 20 years next week, this coming weekend, 20 years, and everyone fucking remembers where they were. I was working. I didn't even, here's how fucking dumb I was. First of all, I was like 19 years old. I just turned 19. Here's how fucking dumb I was. I I was working at AutoZone, and this guy comes in and um, he says they're attacking the Twin Towers, and I was like, why do I care what's happening in Europe? Like, I legitimately thought the Twin Towers were a structure in London or something like that. Because I thought Eiffel Tower, Twin Towers, they got to be close to each other, right? So, so, but that's where I was, and my mother was an American Airlines flight attendant. So I called, once I learned that the Twin Towers were not a thing in London, and learned that it was an American Airlines plane, I called my mother, and she had the day off, so she answered the phone, but she was in tears because she knew the people. She knew a few of the people. I just talked about that recently. She knew some of the people on two of those flights. So, yeah, I mean, a fucking miserable day in America. That's not a good day. I mean, and that and Pearl Harbor, those are two of our darkest days. And now we're fucking fun. It took 3 weeks to put Navy SEALs in Afghanistan, because that's where they thought that. I don't know. I don't even know why they thought that was going to work. Why that was going to do anything. If we had terrorists, we had at least, at a bare minimum, there were 19 terrorists living here in America, and plotting this whole thing to hijack these planes. At a bare minimum, there were 19 of them here in America. So why did we feel this need to immediately go to Afghanistan? This fucking, I'm going to say it, shithole country where they've barely discovered the wheel, and we're going to go and go through their caves and try and find Osama bin Laden, and what's that going to do? I remember deploying in 2004, and I had squad leaders and platoon sergeants and commanders that were like, the whole point is that we find the leader, because if we cut off the head of the snake, then the whole thing falls apart. Once we take out their leader, be it bin Laden or Saddam Hussein, they were saying, if once we take out their leader, then they'll just all fall apart. They'll crumble, and they'll all just go away. Like, no, that is an incredibly old way of thinking of any of that. Like, why would that happen? Why wouldn't if you killed our president, someone's just going to take his place. If you killed any of our generals or any member of our military, someone's just going to step up and take the place. So I don't know why you would think that would happen in Afghanistan. I don't know what they were thinking, but we're out of there, and that was a whole fucking shit show. That was a shit show. That's not necessarily what I want to talk about. Because I feel like even if I wanted to talk about it, it's old news now. We live in a 24-hour news cycle where things go, things happen and they're gone almost as quick as they happen. They're forgotten about almost immediately. I don't know. The news gets to control what we get to hear and what we don't get to hear. Accurate reporting is a thing of the past. But what I was wondering was, who the fuck is supplying Afghanistan? Obviously we might be now. We left behind so many weapons. We left behind so many vehicles. But even before that, even think about before that, and even think about these Marines that were killed recently. The 13 Marines that were killed just a week or two ago. Even think about that. They were killed in a mortar attack. Like, who is supplying the Afghan military for the last 20 fucking years of this stuff? It's very easy to look in 2003, 2004, maybe even 2005 at Afghanistan and Iraq, and, well, I guess no, Libya is not a good example because they left behind so many goddamn weapons. The Libyan military or whatever when they vacated, but you look at Afghanistan and Iraq, and just, they're launching mortars all the time, rockets, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not millions of rounds of ammunition. Where's all that coming from? Because they should have, I know that for me, forget about the fucking supply part. Just think about the cost. The cost of a single mortar is probably anywhere from, I don't know, $20,000 to $85,000 for a single mortar shell. Like, who the fuck is supplying these people? Because it would be easy to say in 2003, 2004, it'd be pretty easy to say, like, oh, this is just stuff that was left over from the fucking Cold War or something like that. But they should have expended all of that by now. So somebody's supplying these countries with ammo. Is this like when there's a riot in Chicago or something, and there's just happens to be a pallet of bricks left on the sidewalk? You know, why does that always happen? Every time there's a riot here in America, every time that things get really unstable, like last year during all the Black Lives Matter riots, there was just constantly like, why is there a pallet of bricks just left here on the sidewalk? Conveniently, there's just a pallet of bricks. Those are the kind of conspiracies that I would get behind. Like, what's happening here? Who's supplying Afghanistan with all of this ammo, all of this, who supplies everything that they have? Shouldn't they be, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna, shouldn't they be cut off from the world as far, like, shouldn't they not be, there's no, Afghanistan and Iraq are not the same. At least Iraq, Saudi Arabia, like, they have, like, oil reserves. They have all that stuff. These places in Afghanistan are just, like, they are real, legitimate shitholes. Like, they are places that nobody would ever want to live because they're disgusting. Sorry, if you're an Afghani that happens to listen to this show, I can't imagine why you would. But, the whole, there's, like, 2 cities in the entirety of the country. And granted, it's not a huge country in the first place, but it's big enough, and yet there's only 1 or 2 cities, like actual cities, and they're not even that big. They're like the size of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So who the fuck is supplying these places, supplying these militants is what I'm like. I don't want to call them terrorists yet. I wouldn't call them terrorists until they start coming over here and acting stupid. As far as I'm concerned right now, they're militants. They are acting almost exactly as I would react. That's what, that's something that I think that very few people talk about. Like, think about America. Think if the shoe was on the other foot. If Afghanistan was the 1,000,000-man army that we are, we have about 1 million people in our military. Maybe it's 2 million. No, it's 800,000 in law enforcement. It's like 2 million in the military. We have like 2 million people in our military, and Afghanistan has what, like 10 or 20? And so, of course, like, it's a layup. Like, Afghanistan and Iraq were both layups for us. Like, we got our dick slapped on 9/11, and they were both of those countries were layups to go back and be like, it wouldn't even surprise me if it wasn't even anything to do with Afghanistan. It was just a fucking, like, hey, we need to blame someone. Let's blame Afghanistan because that's a layup. We can go over there, we'll fuck them up, and we'll be able to say, hey, we got our revenge on 9/11. And don't you fucking dare, say that I'm, like, sullying the memory of anyone that died over there, because I was there twice. All right, so I'm I feel as though I've earned my place to criticize on that one, or at least to have some questions. Like, there's a lot of questions with Iraq. We were told that there's WMDs there, and then we go and there's fucking nothing. There was never even a fucking trace of something. Supposedly there was like 2 people who got hit with nerve gas out of an IED. That IED was probably something that was left over from when we were, there in the Gulf War or something. So that was the one instance of a technical weapon of mass destruction. But I digress. Either way, yeah. Why were we there? I don't get it. We never should have been there. But that's what I was saying. Think if the role was reversed. Think if this is America. Even take us as big as we are right now. Take us at 325 million people, with a 2 million person army, or 2 million person military, and imagine that Afghanistan is a 2 billion person country with a 1 billion person military, and they decide to invade America. You think we're not going to fight back? You think we're not going to fucking be like, hey, I don't want you in my fucking country. Get the fuck out right now. And I'm collecting heads on the way. I'm going to be going around and fucking every one of you that stomped in my door, I'm going to track you down. Every one of you that fucking grabbed my wife by the hair and threw her on the floor for no reason. Every one of you that fucking imprisoned my brother for no reason. And once I find out where that prison is, I'm going to be launching rockets at it because I want those people out of there. Like, that's exactly how you should behave, I guess. I mean, that's not really how a good, planet should behave, because really we should, we're all the same goddamn species. I don't know why we're fighting with each other anyways. My father once had this, like, little cartoon that said, like, that it was during the Cold War when Cuba had nukes launched, aimed at us or something like that. And there's, like, aliens looking down at Earth, and they see this, and they were like, there's no intelligent life down there. Look at them. They have nukes aimed at each other. So, yeah, those are my quick thoughts on Afghanistan. It's a shit show. I'm glad. I don't mind that we're out of there. I mean, I knew exactly what... I knew that it was going to end in civil war. I knew that trying to leave there wasn't going to be good. Happened a little faster than I thought. If I were the Taliban, I would have been like, yeah, I'm going to wait until all of them are gone, and then we're going to fucking take over. I can't imagine. I'm not sure why they wouldn't have done it that way. Why, because they didn't do themselves any favors by killing a bunch of Marines. Not to mention, it's very strange that I saw, like, news reports that were like, the CIA, has made deals with the Taliban to cease fire until they're out of there. Like, why is the CIA talking to the Taliban and making deals? And why is anyone talking to the Taliban and making deals? Aren't these the guys 20 years ago that we were very eager to fucking murder all of them? And just saying like, oh, all American military is out of we've gotten out all of our troops. Like, that doesn't mean dick. You know that the CIA is still there. You know that the American government is going to be watching them with a very close eye for at least 20 years, probably, at least. And we'll be back there. I remember during the Obama era, seeing a news report that was like, here's the last military vehicles leaving Iraq, and it was crossing a section of Iraq that I crossed many a time, and it's all these military vehicles in like a big long fucking line, big long convoy leaving Iraq, and I was like, we're not done there. There's no way that we're actually out of there. I don't know why they were portraying it this way, but we're not actually out of that country. And sure enough, I mean, just a couple years later, a guy that I work with gets deployed to Iraq. Not even like I was on my second tour where I'm like in Kuwait but doing missions in Iraq. He was in Iraq, so it's all bullshit. No one ever fucking, the government never fucking tells us the truth about that stuff. So am I done talking about Afghanistan? I guess I am. If you follow me on Facebook at all, let's see here. Rachel said, Rochelle, I see why you love this guy. And Victor said, dude, you're looking great, man. Keep up the great work at the gym. Thank you, buddy. That's exactly my next topic. If you follow me on Facebook at all, every fucking morning I post like a post-workout picture. But it's never like a picture of me. It's a picture of like... It's a picture of usually my watch showing, how long I may have done cardio for, or when I was able to fucking run. It was a picture of like the treadmill screen. If I do like push-ups and sit-ups, I take a picture of the mat and all the sweat on the mat, all the sweat that I've left behind. And so yeah, I've been going to the gym since June 14th, and every morning, Monday through Saturday, I go there. And I had noticed this past week I'm kind of becoming like a bit of a gym snob. There's certain people at the gym that are just really fucking annoying me. Like I don't remember if I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but if I did, I'm talking about it again because it's my show and I'll do what I want. A couple weeks ago, or this was about a month ago now, because I was able to run. I haven't been able to run in like a month now. I got this fucking plantar fasciitis or something like that, and it just kills me to run. And it kills me that I can't fucking run right now. I just finished reading David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, and he talks about running, and it's such a motivating book that I just like, I was listening to this book, and it made me want to fucking go out and run 100 miles. So, and he talks in the book about like, athletes and stuff that have plantar fasciitis, and they're still running through the pain, and it just made me want to be like, fuck this, I'm gonna go run. And then I talked to my mate Ro, and she was like, you're not getting paid millions of dollars, knock it off, just get healthy again, and I promise you'll be able to run again before you know it. Which sucks, but she's right. She is right. I gotta, I just can't do it. I gotta get my cardio other ways. But this fucking guy, so about a month ago, I'm on the treadmill and I ran 6 miles one day, a little over 6 miles one day, and I was psyched. I don't know if I've ever ran that far. I think the most I ever ran in the military was probably 5 miles. I don't know that I've ever run 6 miles. My goal was to do it in under 56 minutes, I think, and I did it in like 54, somewhere in that area. It was something like that. Like, I had a goal and I beat the goal, and that's what made me happy. But for this hour that I'm on the treadmill running, down the line from me on another treadmill is this guy, and and I saw him again the other day, and it pissed me the fuck off. That's why it's coming up now. This fucking guy, he's got his treadmill. I saw him the other day. He's got the treadmill turned up. And so I've seen him a few times, right? So I just noticed it a month ago, but I've seen him a few times since. This one was just the other day. This is what he'll do. He gets on the treadmill. He turns the fucking treadmill up to 9.9 miles per hour. Or at least, well, the setting is 9.9. I don't know if that's actually a miles per hour thing, but that works out to like, Jesus Christ, that works out to like a 6-minute mile. It's cruising. 9.9 is flying, and for a run. And so he turns the treadmill up to 9.9, but he puts his feet on either side of the band. So he's not actually running, he's just standing there. He's just standing on the treadmill, and the band is just flying. And once in a while, he'll put his hands, and this is once in a while. Jesus Christ, that might be one thing if he had it turned up to 9.9, and he's doing this the entire time. No, the majority of his time is spent with that band just spinning around. Once in a while, he will grab the sides of the treadmill, lift all of his body weight off, and just kind of barely touch his feet, to the band, and just do a little, little tap dance on the band. Just do a little taparoo on the band, and then he'll get back off, put his feet on either side of the fucking band. And the worst part of it is that the day that I saw him a month ago, and now I'm just so annoyed I don't even want to fucking look at him. The worst part is a month ago I did this 6-mile run, and him and I so we got on the treadmill at about the same time, and we finished our respective workouts. I'm going to put his in quotes. Mine was an actual workout. We put our respective workouts. We finished at about the same time, and I saw him take his fucking phone and take a picture of the screen. A picture of the screen. The same way that I take a picture of the screen to be like, look, this is what I did today. I fucking ran 6.8 miles today, or whatever I ran that day. I ran like 6.2 miles, and I did it in 55 minutes, right? And there's sweat all over the screen of the treadmill from me. There's sweat all over the screen because I'm running, I'm moving my arms. All that sweat is coming off my forearms and flying right onto the screen. This guy takes a picture of his perfectly clean, pristine screen, and then, I can only assume shared it in some way. Look at me, man. I ran fucking 25 miles today in an hour. I'm faster than Usain Bolt. That's one example It's one example of me becoming a gym snob. All right. The other example, the other day, just the other day. So I've been getting more into like actually lifting weights. So so the other day, I'm at the gym. This is on like Monday, I think. What's today? No, this was yesterday. Yeah, this is yesterday. I don't know why, but suddenly the gym is fucking packed. I'm not sure what's going on. Like at first, I thought it was just kids. I thought it was just kids being back at school, like college kids being back at school. That's what I thought it was at first, but that seems like that's not the case because all these people that I'm seeing this past week are not really college age kids. There might be a few of them, but mostly no. And the closest college is UNH, and the closest gym to UNH is in Dover, so it doesn't even make sense. Why are you staying? Why are you here? So I don't know why. Um, I don't know why all of a sudden the gym is packed, but it is. So yesterday I'm on the elliptical, right? Because I gotta mix up my cardio now. I can't run, so I've been mixing it up between the rowing machine, the stationary bike, and the elliptical, right? So I used the elliptical yesterday, and I'm on the elliptical, and there's 4 benches for like weights. There's 4 benches for like regular free weights, dumbbells, right? So I'm on the elliptical. All 4 are taken up. But I just started my elliptical run, right? It's only going to be 20 minutes. I'm only going to be on here for 20 minutes. Hopefully, by the time I'm finished, someone is finishing up on the benches, right? In the first, like, 15 minutes, like, one bench cleared, and immediately someone else jumps up on the bench, right? So I'm like, all right, I got 5 more minutes to go on the elliptical. Hopefully, in 5 minutes, it'll be cleared up. But I'm looking down, and there's these two guys who, like they don't belong here. Like they're fucking, like these 2 guys look like pig farmers who work out once a year. Like they probably have a gym membership. In fact, one of them has a gym membership. The other one is just a guest at the gym. So they don't even both have gym memberships. They're taking up 2 benches and they're not even working out. They're both standing at these benches. Like I don't get the people who think that by just showing up that's the work. Like showing up is part of it. Showing up is like part of working out. Like I've had plenty of days where I wake up way too late. Like I wake up at fucking, especially in the beginning of this, like I want to be at the gym. I want to be at the gym at like 5:15, 5:30 and get in like at least an hour of working out. But I've had days where I don't wake up until like 6:15. I'm like, fuck, I got to get out of here. And I do the math in my head right away. I wake up and I'm like, okay, I can still get to the gym and put down a mile on the treadmill when I was able to run. I can put down a mile. So I get like, not doing as much as you want to, but like these guys the other day, they're there and they're not doing anything. They're just standing there. They're standing there talking to each other. One of them's got the fucking full headphones on, like the fucking the Beats by Dre, full on, over the ear headphone. But I don't know if he's listening. I don't even think he was listening to anything because he's spending most of the time talking to his buddy. And once in a great while, both of them would pick up a like 10-pound dumbbell and just kind of barely do a little bit of a workout. And I'm being very generous when I say workout. They're really just kind of moving the dumbbell up and down and kind of pretending that they're doing something. So, and there were even occasions when they're like laughing about it, right? They're laughing because they know they're not actually doing anything. They're not doing anything beneficial to themselves. So then you got these. So there's these 2 guys, and so you got run. Let's see here. Running is the skinny man disease. Just lift. All right, Rachel. I'm gonna address that. So unfortunately, yeah, so I agree with you now. I wouldn't have agreed with you a month and a half ago. Rochelle got me this great book for my birthday called I think it's called the Body Sculpting Bible, something along those lines. And I haven't really read what the name of it is enough to know off the top of my head. But it's like the Body Sculpting Bible, I think is what it's called. And it explains every fucking workout you can think of, and then it's got a awesome workout routine to go through. And I am on week 2 of that right now, and And I was like, I was weighing in at 280 2.5 months ago. I was weighing in at 280 2.5 months ago, and I was just focused on running, because running is what I know how to do. I know how to run. It's fucking easy. You get on the treadmill, you hit start, and you just start running. It's that easy. So running was what I knew how to do. So I was like, I'll get on the treadmill and I'll run, and I'll lose weight by running, and that's all I'm gonna do. And Rochelle was the one that was like, you want to add in some weights and add in some other stuff, because if you run too much, you're just going to end up what she calls skinny fat. And I even, my friend David Germain that I served with overseas, and he sends me articles and meal plans and all this stuff all the time. And he agreed with her. He was like, yeah, if you run, if all you do is run, then you're just going to end up, you're going to lose weight, but you're not going to really look like anything special. Which I'm not even saying I want to look special, but I do want to fucking look good. Who doesn't want to look good? One of the best things is that Rochelle doesn't even. I weighed 280. She still loved me just the same. She never fucking pushed me to go to the gym. She never said anything. The only thing that she kind of said was like that she wanted me to like get into like a social sport of some sort. And even that might be a little bit of a self-serving thing, because she wants to be able to cheer me on the way that I cheer her on at softball. But that's the closest thing she ever did to pushing me to anything. I was the one that decided to sign back up for the gym, and when I did, she was like, okay, what do you need from me? Which I feel like I said that like a week or two ago, but I don't care. I'm saying it again. But anyways, so these two fucking guys, they just, finally they get off. I had to end my elliptical 2 minutes early, because I was like, I can't let someone else jump on a fucking bench. Like, as soon as these two idiots walked away from the bench they're using two benches, as soon as they walked away, I got off my elliptical. I took my Bible. I took my bottled water. I went over to a bench. I set it down, and then I went back to clean my elliptical. Like, usually I do it the other way around. I finish up on the equipment, I wipe it down, and then I move on to the next thing. This time I was like, nope, I got to go claim that fucking bench right now. So there was that, but then after I do, like, it was like the workout itself on the bench was like 25 minutes. After I'm done with that, I move over to the ab area, and I'm working over there, and I can see these guys while I'm working over there, and they're like making a mockery of being at the gym. Like, come on, guys, like, what are you doing? I'm super gym snob now. I'm like, I don't say anything to these people, but my eyes tell the story. My eyes are definitely saying, you are not in a judgment-free zone. So, on top of all of that, on top of, the other thing that I can't understand, so beyond just the fucking two idiots, the two examples that I just gave of people that are like taking up time and space at the gym that just don't even go. If you're gonna fucking set the treadmill at 9.9 and then not do anything on it, why are you there? Are you there just to say you're there? If you are there just to say you're there, then fucking do something. Like, work out. Like, why wouldn't you? Otherwise, just stay in bed. Other than those two examples, the other thing that I can't understand is people that go to the gym and don't break a sweat. Like, I've been there for almost 3 months, every Monday through Saturday, and I want to walk to the locker room at the end of my session with a t-shirt that is fucking drenched. I want to be able to wring it out. I take pictures every day of how much I sweat, because that's what I want. Like, if I ever started going to the gym and I'm like, boy, I'm not sweating anymore, I know there's either one of two things is happening. Either I'm not drinking enough water, because I should be sweating, or I'm leaving gas in the tank. Like, why bother going to the gym if you're going to leave gas in the tank? Like, why not go all out? Like, why not go and give it everything? I go to the gym and I go fucking hard. I want to know that I put down everything that I had today. I want to finish my workout and be like, yes, I may not have lifted the most today, but I know that I put down everything that I had. I walked in there, I got started on my workout, and I put down everything that I had. And I don't understand what like I look around at the gym and I see some of these guys that are just like they're working out and they do like one set of fucking 10 or something. They do like a set of 10 with the dumbbells or something, or on a machine of some sort. They do like a set of 10, and then they pull out their phone, and they stare at their phone for like, I don't know, 1 or 2 or 3 minutes sometimes. And then they go back and they do another set of 10. And it's like, okay, great. Like, all right, fine. Yeah, you look good. But don't you want to know, like, what else is there? Like, why? Like, I don't know. That's the arrival. Like, that's the person that just like arrives and says, "I'm done." That's the guy that fucking finishes basic training, goes to his unit, and says, "Well, I did that, so I don't need to do any more." That's the guy. That's who that is. And I don't know. I can't get. I don't know. I guess my my mentality has changed over the years. Because I wasn't that guy. I wasn't the guy that said, I finished basic training, I've arrived at my unit, I'm done. But I didn't keep working out after basic training, and I should have. I remember going for a run maybe less than a week after I graduated basic training. It was less than a week. It was like a few days, but I had gone a few days without doing any working out. I went for a run and I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I running? You know, there's no drill sergeant here telling me that I have to do this, so why am I doing it? But these guys that go to the gym are like, I don't know, they've reached their I don't know what they want to look like, but they have absolutely no desire to find out what's left in the tank today. Like, and it might be even one thing of being like, well, I don't want to, I know that if I, there could be some guys that are like, well, I can run, I'm just using running as an example. But if you're I go to the gym and I put down, 2 miles in fucking 15 minutes, right? That's a 7.5 minute mile. I put down 2 miles in 15 minutes every time I go to the gym, but I know that if you challenged me and I needed to, I could do 2 miles in fucking 11 minutes, right? Those are just random numbers that I'm throwing out. But why wouldn't you just go and put down that 11 minutes every day and exert everything that you have? Like, that's, I don't know. Maybe I'm just different. But through my working out at the gym, I managed to motivate some people that I work with, which is cool. I started in June, and then one person that I work with was like, I'm going to start going in the morning. I guess she went in the afternoon before. So she starts going in the morning. And then someone else, another coworker, came up to me, and he was like, hey, I hear you go to the gym. I said, yeah. And he was like, oh, you go in the morning? And we talked about it a little bit, and he was like, I think I'm going to start going in the morning. I said, that'd be awesome. Hey, this other coworker of ours, she also goes in the morning. And then one other person was like, and so it's grown to like a group of, let's see here. It's grown to like a group of like 6 people. Like, that includes me. Like 6 of us. And I have somehow become the fucking motivator and the accountability manager of being like, come on, where are you? Come on, like I went on Monday and only one other person was there, and I texted all the guys. So it was just the one girl was there. And I see these people, and it's not like we work out together. Like, none of us work out together. It's just like a, accountability thing. Like, hey, I saw you at the gym. Good work. But this one girl I saw, I was leaving on Monday, and she was walking in, and then so then I texted all the guys. It's 3 guys. I texted them, and I was like, hey, she was here. Where were you guys? What happened? One of them is a fucking is a liar, pants on fire. He said, oh, I didn't think they'd be open today. It's fucking Labor Day, man. It's not. They're open on Christmas. Why would you think that Planet fucking Fitness in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, isn't open on Labor Day? Like, what? I didn't think they'd be open today. You're full of shit. You knew they were open. You didn't realize that your coworkers were going to be there. That's what you thought. My day off is tomorrow, right? I have the day off tomorrow. I have every intention to not only be there at my semi-normal time. I might sleep in a little bit. I might sleep in like an extra 45 minutes because Rose still has to get up and go to work. So I'm gonna get up with her and I'll go to the gym, when we get up. But that's my day off. I'm still gonna be there, and not only am I gonna be there, like my favorite part about going to the gym on a day off is that I have no time constraint. There's nothing saying like, oh, you need to punch in at 8 o'clock. I have no time constraint, which means I can go as long and I can go as hard as I want at the gym, which that's my favorite day to go. I might even, right now, like my rest day is on Sunday. I might even change up my rest day so that Sundays I can go fucking as hard as I want, and change up my rest day to like Monday or something. So yeah, but it's cool. Like this morning, I saw all of them, minus one. Everyone, all of my so I call it Postal Fitness. That's what I call it. It's the group. That's the group. It's Postal Fitness. There's not actually like a group, like a Facebook group or anything like that, but that's what I call it, Postal Fitness. And so anyways, yeah. So I go this morning. Everyone minus one woman showed up, and so I grabbed these little stickers that say "You did it." I grabbed these little stickers when I was walking out of the gym this morning. Went to work, and I walked around handing them all to everyone. I hand them all and give little fist bumps to everyone. Say, hey, good job getting there today, good work. And and one guy who I had noticed, like he showed up we showed up at the same time. We both showed up at like 5:30, but he doesn't shower at the gym. He goes back home to shower. So I noticed that he showed up, and he said he showed up later than he wanted to, and he was only there for like 20 minutes. I noticed that. And he goes, yeah, I showed up, I woke up a little late, showed up about 15 minutes later than I wanted to. I said, hey man, you were there. That's all that fucking matters. You showed up, you did some work, and then you left. That's better than waking up, laying in bed, and being like, I don't fucking feel like it today. And at the end of all of it, there's no end. There's no actual end. But when I do like I have hopes anyways to do like a body transformation reveal at some point. And at the end of all of this, because I'm sure that I'll get fucking questions. How'd you do this? How'd you whatever? The answer is so very simple. I started one day. I just started one day. That's how it works. One day I went and I said I'm gonna go tomorrow too, and then it just continued since then. So, and then it works. It's really helpful to have like a super supportive partner, who will always tell you like, hey man, whatever, if you want to stop, go ahead, but I'm fully supportive of whatever you want to do, and to get that recognition of the changes, right? It's crazy to me. I haven't had anyone be like, oh, you're losing weight, which is kind of it's bothering some. It's not bothering me. It's not like on my mind, but it is like, what the fuck? Because I've lost 30 pounds in just under 3 months. So it's kind of bothersome to be like, what the fuck is going on here? The closest, with the exception of my girlfriend, because she noticed like right away. She noticed within the first 2 or 3 weeks. She took a picture of me wearing my Top Gun socks, and she looked at the picture and she was like, oh yeah, I noticed right here, because you can see that my work shirt is very loose. Like that was there was like a couple motivators to start going to the gym. And one of my motivators was that my work shirt is a button-down shirt, and one of the buttons near my belly button kept coming undone because my fucking stomach was so fat. So yeah. So yeah, that's all it is. I started going one day, and I haven't stopped, and I have no intention to stop. I'm enjoying. I like First of all, I like waking up early, anyways. I don't mind waking up early, and she's so hard to get out of bed with, just because she's great. She's a great person to sleep next to because she's just so comfortable. So that in itself is a show of discipline, to be able to have that alarm go off and be like, all right, I have to go do this thing because I said I was going to do it. Now I have to go follow through. So that's been my Planet Fitness journey so far. I'm just about done here for the night. The last couple things, some entertainment news that I wanted to bring up was no Six Underground sequel, which sucks. It really sucks. I was promised that there was going to be a Six Underground sequel. Now, if you've been listening to me for the last almost 2 years, it's one of my favorite movies. I love Michael Bay. I love Ryan Reynolds. So it is one of my favorite movies ever. I First of all, I think that Netflix kills it with the movie stuff. Although we did recently watch the Tomorrow War and Without Remorse on Amazon. Both of those movies, Amazon has stepped up their movie game. Both of those movies came out. I thought they were really good. I liked them both. I love the Tom Clancy stuff. I love that CIA bullshit, special ops bullshit, all that stuff. And the Tomorrow War was aliens. How do you go wrong with aliens? So yeah, both of those movies are great. Amazon hopefully going to step up their game. Although I guess the Tomorrow War, I don't know about Without Remorse, but the Tomorrow War was a movie that was actually supposed to be released in theaters, and then what happened was COVID. Basically, COVID happened, and they decided, you know what, we're just going to sell this to Amazon. They can release it, and I thought it was a good move. I don't know if it would have done well in theaters, but I thought it was a great Amazon movie. But so Six Underground, for the last 18 months, every couple months I'll Google Six Underground sequel, and for 18 months it was, sequel is coming, gonna be a sequel. This person's on to direct. Ryan Reynolds set to return. This person set to return. All these fucking promises that I'm getting a Six Underground sequel, which would I don't know what the one of the things that bothered me about the movie was that he's got like this list on the wall of 9 people. These 9 assholes are the ones that are like fucking up the world, and he started with number 1. Like, this is not, this is number 1, and we're going after this guy. Why not start at number 9, or fucking number 6, or something like that? Why not say there's 6 assholes and start at number 6? Yeah, I was really disappointed. I mean, one of the best things that came out of Six Underground, though, was it, really accelerated my desire to fly, because Ryan Reynolds is flying an airplane in the beginning of that movie. He's flying one of the Red Bull aerobatic planes, and seeing that scene just really made me, it really cranked up my desire to want to go get my pilot license. So who knows when I'm going to finish that. Hopefully another year and a half I'll have my private license, but we will see. The Red Notice trailer came out the other day, and I'm excited for that one. That's another Netflix movie. That's Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot. I don't know if her name is pronounced Gadot or Gadot. It's one of those, though. I always say Gadot. So Gal Gadot and Dwayne Johnson, all in that movie, and super excited about that one. I remember seeing Fast 8. Was it? No, it was Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw. Seeing Hobbs and Shaw and seeing Ryan Reynolds' cameo in that movie and Kevin Hart's cameo in that movie, both of those characters, I was so psyched when they showed up. And then hearing in like January of 2020 that Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson were set to do a movie together, I was like, this is going to be great. So trailer finally dropped the other day. Movie coming out November 12th. Cannot wait for that. That is a movie where, as much as me and Ro push off movies, because like Without Remorse, we were supposed to watch like the day that it came out. Same thing with Tomorrow War. We were supposed to watch, maybe the Tomorrow War was like the week it came out. Red Notice comes out, we are setting aside a night for that. I'm going to be like, nope, I don't care if we have to eat at 2 in the afternoon. We are watching this movie tonight. Because what we do, our nightly, routine, if you will, we don't really have a routine per se, but it's kind of a routine, is that we will eat dinner, and while we eat dinner, we'll watch like a cooking show. We usually watch like MasterChef or Top Chef or Hell's Kitchen, something like that. Something kind of like that can be on in the background that her and I can talk while the show is going on. A movie, we don't want to talk. We want to, we want to actually, we want to be, watching the movie. Maybe throw in some conversation here and there where we can hit pause, but for the most part, we just, a movie, we want to chill out and watch it. So, Red Notice, when that movie comes out, Ro, set aside on the calendar. We are watching that movie that night. I cannot wait for that movie. It looks so good. The other trailer that dropped in the last week or so, the next Spider-Man movie. And I was disappointed to find out Ro has not seen any of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Victor, Crash and Taz movie seller, I need you guys to tell her these movies are so much better than the Tobey Maguire / other Spider-Man guy movies. I remember in the early 2000s when the Spider-Man movies came out, I loved them. I was like, these movies are great. But that was only because it was the first Spider-Man movie. I hadn't had a real taste of a real Spider-Man movie yet. I love the Tom Holland ones. Homecoming, it's not even really it's not an origin story. The Homecoming. It's a, you already know this guy. We don't need to fucking go through the whole origin bullshit. Here's Spider-Man. Congratulations. I did think, The Amazing Spider-Man. That was the name of those movies. I think one of them had Dennis Leary in it, and maybe even both of them had Dennis Leary in it. But those were good. Well, the first one was really good. The second one was kind of I don't even think I finished it. I think I watched half of it, and I was like, oh, I'm out. But the first one, I was like, oh, this guy's so much better than Tobey Maguire. But the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies are just perfect. I love them. Homecoming and Far From Home, I thought were great. I thought Far From Home was a little bit too close to, was it the third Iron Man? Yeah, the third Iron Man. It was a little too close to being like the same storyline as the third Iron Man movie. I can talk more about that. Crash and Taz, if you wanna fucking message me and be like, what do you mean? I can talk more about that. But the fucking Crash and Taz movie seller, that's a podcast if you don't know. It's a podcast that talks about some really fun movies. I think recently they talked about Twilight. They talked about Twilight recently, which, I don't know. That's not my vampire. My vampire doesn't walk in the sun and glitter. But anyways, Ro has not seen those Spider-Man movies yet. I have not watched the trailer yet because I wanted to watch it with her. But first she needs to see the first two movies. So we got to put that on the list. I'm going to have to force her to watch those. So, all right. I've been going at this forever. This was a much better episode. A lot more fun for me than fucking crying. Yeah, over an hour. That's enough for me tonight. My sponsors, who I'm very thankful for, 4HMclothing.com, AdamEve.com, MileHighAngel.com, and Manscaped.com. All of those websites, if you go there, use offer code ADULTING, you get varying degrees of discounts. 4HM Clothing is 10% off any order over $50. Adam Eve is 50% off any one item, plus a bunch of free gifts that come with it, plus free shipping. Manscaped is free shipping. Mile High Angel is 10% off your whatever. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah. 4HM is 10% off your entire order over $50. Mile High Angel is 10% off, I think, just in general. I could be wrong about that. Something like that. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. Thank you, everyone that listened tonight. Thank you for everyone that checked in on the comments. Joe from the Bridge, Rachel, my lady, my mate, my love. And yeah, just thank you, everyone. And thank you, everyone that reached out to me about that last episode and just said, hey, thanks for sharing all that stuff and opening up and being very vulnerable for a minute. But thankfully, tonight was not like that. All right, everyone. Good night.